Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
Oh, you have no idea. That soundbite works for two things. One, you got Wild Card weekend in the NFL coming up. Can't wait to get to that conversation a little bit later in the show. But also, I told you guys yesterday I had to go to the doctor to get an X-ray on my foot, and I get the X-ray. She's like, I have no idea what it is. It's probably not broken or any kind of fracture in there. I'm like, okay. And so I get an X-ray on it, and they just sent me the results last night, and they responded again this morning. And it's basically I have the beginning stages of some crazy. I don't remember. I shouldn't say crazy. It's not that bad, but it's like some arthritis in that area, and that's what's causing it. And it's probably pinched up against something else, and that's what's making it at times really fucking painful. Okay, and to make things worse, I'm dealing with that. And that's something that can be kind of managed. Just, take it easy, ice and whatnot, right? Not the end of the world. But I believe it will get worse as I get older. But the thing that's annoying is last night. So if you're a parent, this happens to you all the time. Dad or mom, this miscellaneous thing broke. Can you fix it? That's what I do. Okay. I fix things. If it's not me, my wife will take a crack at it. But let's be honest, they come to me first. Okay. Because I want to feel important. I tell them, okay, go to mom last, please. Just, I want to feel like I matter. Okay. Anyway, so my daughter gives me her Stanley tumbler that she got. It's a big one. It's a one with a handle on the side. I don't think it's officially a Stanley, but it had about half. It was about half full of water, and she had jacked up the straw that goes in there. And I'm pulling on the straw, and there's like this rubber thing over top of the hard plastic part of the straw, and I'm pulling on it. I should have sat it down, and I should have actually removed the straw from the lid and just worked on the straw by itself. But I didn't. I was being dumb, and I was thinking I could just do this without, setting anything down. So long and short of it, what happened is I'm pulling on it, and all of a sudden the straw pulls through the lid, even though there was like an extra barrier of plastic that's supposed to prevent that to happen, and it falls out. And from about, I'm guessing about, say, 4.5, 5 feet high, I dropped the half-filled Stanley tumbler right on my other foot, right on the just below the nail of the big toe. That thing did not stop hurting for about 3 hours. I don't know if you've ever smashed a toe. That's probably one of the worst pains I've ever felt. I've had, I've ripped my labrum in my hip. I've jacked up my shoulder. I've done a lot of things, broken wrists, broken ribs. For whatever reason, busting your toe feels like the worst pain ever. Okay. It just is throbbing. And then, okay, so my toe is black and blue this morning as I wake up with a big kind of a cut on it as well. So I take a shower, and the drips from the shower, the water as I'm taking a shower is just that tap on it made it fucking hurt so goddamn bad. Holy shit. I almost died. Oh, so mad. It fucking hurt. My daughter was so sweet because I had to take her to dance class. Like literally, we were getting ready to go to her dance class, and that happened. And I go over to the ottoman, and I'm sitting down, take off my sock, and I'm looking at it. And she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I am not." She's like, "I feel so sorry for you, but you might want to hustle up, fucker." She didn't say that. She should have. In her mind, I'm guessing that's what she said. I tweeted out kind of a preview of today's show. We're going to talk about Von Miller gushing over the Broncos. Deion Sanders opens the door to leaving Colorado. And I dropped a Stanley tumbler on my toe yesterday. It's probably broke. So a bunch of people responded. Some of you nice, some of you not. Some of you wrote, if Mark, this comes in from Sean, if Mark Schlereth could only feel the pain and suffering you have gone through with the injury of your toe. I believe, Sean, you're mocking me, okay? And you're looking for a response from Mark Schlereth. There's a good chance he is so high end now, he probably won't respond. Although was it yesterday or the day before? I was texting him, just checking on his wiener, see how it's going. That's basically what I wrote. Would be like, hey, how's your wiener? Then we exchanged some funny stuff that I'm not going to tell you. Bradley wrote, it's great that Vaughn always gushes about Denver. And then he wrote, bye, in regards to Deion. And then he finished up with, I hope the Stanley is okay. They're expensive. You know what's funny is that did cross my mind for a second. I'm like, oh, that'd be so annoying if it broke. Then Josh wrote in, whoa, 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 whoa. You guys are reading this wrong. DeHuff is a badass. That Stanley Cup is what's broken, not his toe. Thanks. See, Josh came into my rescue. Josh is a real friend. You guys are all buttholes. So stupid. So dumb. What a dumb way to get hurt, right? Jesus. I was so mad at myself. Like, really? Really? Listen, it'll probably be fine. And there's nothing you can do about a broken toe. There's not. It is what it is. And then the other foot with the arthritis, it's basically, I just have to, not piss it off and take ibuprofen and then ice it and maybe heat it. I don't know, but there's not much you can do about it. I'm not going to get surgery on it. Fuck that shit. I hate that stuff. But then I also have an appointment to go get my knee looked at. She's like, you probably have a meniscus tear. Like, oh, that's fun. That's great. Yeah. So I'm just a big, I am a prize, ladies. Sorry, I'm taken. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, real quick, remember today's show is presented to you by Kirkwall Group as well as Bet Online. And you know what? Bet Online continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether if you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, Bet Online is your ultimate game day companion. They got the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC. Bet Online is the number one sports betting source for the new year. They got touchdowns, three-pointers, hat tricks. Bet Online has you covered on every game, every play, and every win. Ooh, you got Wild Card Weekend. You might want to jump on that. And maybe you miss out on Wild Card Weekend. The divisional round next week. Oh, my God. There's always something going on Bet Online. Go to betonline.ag right now, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's Bet Online. The game starts here. Speaking of starting, you know what time it is. Let's jump into it. Let's get into those headlines.
Let's go! Let's go!
And now, here are the headlines.
This is what the headline reads. Okay? I spent $20,000 renting out a whole hotel for one night. So riffraff wouldn't disturb me. It was worth every penny. Fuck you, you rich bitch. My God. Yeah, everybody can do that. Hey, guys, it's easy. If you want a good hotel stay, don't worry. Just rent out the whole thing for $20,000. Yeah, eat a dick. Nobody can do that except for rich snobs. And guess what? Guessing it's not that much of a riffraff. You're just a snot. Seriously, I'm sorry. That stuff just bugs the crap out of me. Rich people getting a platform to sit there and brag about how wealthy they are. Be like, if you're tired, guys, it's really not that big of a commitment, Sure, you might take a little bit of a financial pinch, but it'll be okay. It's totally worth it for one night of sanity. $20,000? Shush. Shush your mouth. Shh. Just go. What is that from? Dumb and Dumber? Lloyd Christmas. You are everyone. You are everyone. Yeah, that's nobody can do that. There's such a small percentage of people who are willing to shit away $20,000 for one hotel night. One night in a hotel, I should say. Stop it. So fucking annoying. I'm sorry. You're not making me like rich people. If you got money to shit away, go ahead and do that. And I can't imagine $20,000 to rent the entire hotel. It might not be that good of a hotel if you have to do all that. You know what I mean? I would imagine unless it's a small hotel with fancy rooms, but most likely it's a somewhat decent sized hotel with decent sized costs on the rooms. So I'm just saying, is that a Best Western? Is that what you did? Did you maybe I could do that? A Motel 6? Motel 6. Here's $100. Can I get the whole place to myself? They're like, $100? Good Lord, that's a lot of money. Sure thing, sir. The place is yours. Hey, folks, we got a big spender over here. You ever go to the first time I covered a Super Bowl was in New Orleans, which I believe it's this year. They're going to be in New Orleans for this year's Super Bowl. But that was the first one I went to. And it was the hotel I was at didn't have what is that, a complimentary breakfast attached to it. But the one that Joel Klatt and Mike Evans were at, because they were my hosts for the morning show, the one they were at, they had a really nice fucking hotel. And I would every morning walk over to their hotel and eat their breakfast because it was free. And it was really fucking nice. It was so fucking nice. I hate when you go to a hotel, you're spending a good amount of money, and then they don't have shit for a breakfast. Like, here's some muffins that are shit. Shit muffins, maybe some boxes of cereal. I don't know. There's some good breakfasts out there. I won't say the guy's name, but he's a former football player. Alfred taught me once that if you just walk into a hotel and act like you're supposed to be there, you can go in there and get free breakfast. We tried it once. It was funny. Good stuff. I kind of want to try it again. I kind of do. Kind of do. I don't think I'm covering the Super Bowl this year. I said that last year, and then like 3 days before I flew out, I got a phone call, and they in Mile High Sports asked me to go out. So I don't think it's going to happen. If it does, it does. I'll have some fun out there, especially New Orleans. Oh my God, such a fun place to go hang out. A lot of amazing food. If that's the case, I'll be doing something with the food, doing food reviews, and maybe I'll see if I can see an alligator. I don't know. It's so much nicer having a podcast because I can record whenever the fuck I want. So that we'll see. We'll see. I'm not holding my breath on that. There's a lot that has to happen for me to go out. One, on the financial side of somebody paying for my ticket and hotel room, but then on this side of making sure I have the kids taken care of with somebody to help my wife out. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see. This is what this drives me nuts. Okay, listen. I guess at the end of the day, they're not hurting anybody, but they might accidentally hurt themselves. This is the headline. We're in love. So we implanted magnets under our skin that connect when we touch. I want that to happen, but I want to put them in my nipples so that way I'll forget about it and I'll be leaning over like a pickup truck or I'll be at the grocery store or something and I'll be leaning over and then all of a sudden my nipples will pop out. Whoa, this is a nice truck. Look at this. Oh, that's old school steel right there. Whoa, he does like it. Look at that. His titties is hard. That's just weird to me. Don't you think, like, if you walk, I mean, I'm guessing the magnets aren't that strong, right? But what if some, you forget about it and you go through an MRI machine, well, that's going to get ripped out. Or you just walk by a strong magnet and then rips it out. Hopefully it's not in their genitals, because that would be terrible, terrible. I get it. It's cute, whatever. But they're not married. So guess what? You're going to be getting that magnet removed. I'm just saying, I'm a negative Nancy. Whatever, deal with it. Them's the facts. It's that time of year again in Florida when the temperature drops. When the temperature drops to about, say, 50 degrees, the iguanas that are just about everywhere, they start moving really slow, okay? They're in the trees. They're moving, but they're slow. When it gets under 40 degrees this time of year, guess what happens? Motherfuckers start dropping out of the trees. And what's funny is some of them can grow up to about 5 feet long and about 25 pounds. So just imagine that. You're just walking along. You got your little puppy on a leash. You're like, let's get some fresh air. Sure, it's a little nipply out, but it'll be fine. And then all of a sudden, little Sparky gets smashed by a 25-pound weight, otherwise known as a frozen iguana. I didn't realize they can whip their tails about 30 miles per hour. Obviously, they got sharp teeth and claws, but iguanas, not a fan of those. That's the one where my son, like a few months back on Thanksgiving break, kind of painted a false picture of what taking care of an iguana was. And I didn't do any research, and I show up, and it's one of these ones that it's really freaking big. And they're like, yeah, he's mean and nasty. You got to wear these special gloves, like you're going to be working with, you're in an iron mill or something like that. And you got to handle him, because if you don't put those on, he's going to scratch the hell out of you. And you got to do all these other things. Iguanas, no, thank you. Again, another reason why I don't know why anybody would want to live in Florida. You got hurricanes. Those are scary as snot. You got alligators, crocodiles, whatever they are. You got, Disney. You got Disneyland or World. That's not bad, I guess. Well, the financial side of it, if you want to get in there, is apparently not very forgiving financially. But there's just so many things. The people in general, just terrible place to live. And then, you got iguanas falling from the tree. I see that story every year. And I always forget about it. And then the story pops up and you're like, dang, man, that'd be just bizarre. Because we don't have that shit here in Colorado. Guess what happens when it's cold out? Nothing really, other than it's cold outside. All the snakes are hibernating. They're smart. They go into the freaking ground. Iguanas just stay in the fucking tree. That being said, I mean, it's Florida. It's probably not going to stay, quote unquote, cold for very long. It's going to bounce back up and the iguanas go back to normal. Fucking gross. So nasty. Ugh. Ew, gross. Let's do it. Let's jump into some sports.
Going deep, tight ends and long balls. No, it's not an invitation to a Diddy party.
Oh, gross!
It's sports with the Huff.
Deion Sanders. I'm surprised a lot more people aren't talking about this, but maybe they just haven't done their homework yet and they're just waiting for it to make its rounds. I saw this yesterday right after the show. Deion Sanders was on with Good Morning America, and he just opened the door to something that I do not like.
Is there a chance that you could head to the NFL?
I know where you're going. You know what? The only way I would consider is to coach my son. Not son. No. Sons. Okay. Yeah.
So that's not a no.
Well, I love Colorado. Now, I love my Buffaloes. I love everything that we're building. I love everything that we're doing. And I love Boulder, Colorado. I do immensely.
But if the opportunity arises, apparently Deion's out the door. I don't like that at all. I mean, I don't blame him if he had an opportunity to go coach his son, to continue coaching his son. Remember when that idea first was proposed nationally, I reached out to Brandon Stokely, Mark Schlereth, and who was the last one? And Chad Brown. I said, I asked all three of them the exact same question. Would this be a problem in the locker room if Deion Sanders was the head coach? Or I said, if the father was the head coach and his son was the starting quarterback. Chad Brown said, yeah, it's definitely going to cause some issues. And Stokely and Schlereth said it essentially, to paraphrase them both, is that it's only a problem if the quarterback sucks. If the quarterback goes in there, starts having issues, yeah, it's going to be a problem. Going to be a problem. I have issues with the fact that Deion is saying that. Because, he made this big to-do about, I'm committed to Colorado. And then what happens? Somebody brings it up again as we get closer to draft time. He's like, well, hold on. If somebody were to draft both of my kids, my son Shedeur as well as Shiloh, why not? I posted that video on Facebook. Mark wrote in, goodbye and become irrelevant and unemployed very soon. Broke Riggin wrote, I hope no NFL team lets this happen. The world won't be big enough for his head after that. Marty wrote, what he is saying is that it's the only way Shedeur would start in the NFL. He wrote husband. Without him, they won't. Okay, that doesn't make sense why he wrote husband, but whatever. Donald wrote, what a clown show. David wrote, he better take this shit out of here because only one of them will be in the NFL. Oh, excuse me. He better take the S out of here. My bad. Yeah, Shiloh, well, here's the thing. It could happen. You get Shedeur early, obviously. First 3 picks, 4th pick, maybe 5th pick. Who knows? Shiloh's not going to go in the first 2 rounds. He's probably going to be a 4th or 5th rounder, if even that. Or you pick him up after the fact. So I don't know who's thinking that Shiloh's going to go early. He's not. Doug said he needs to be in Tallahassee. Jay wrote, OMG. Jacob wrote, Shiloh isn't good enough for the NFL. Yeah, I hate to be a dick, but yeah, I think you're right, Jacob. Greg wrote, Prime will not be at Colorado again. Phil wrote, same crap he put out before he left Jackson State. Colorado, he's about to drop you like a used condom. Why'd you have to say used condom? That's gross. Like, oh, God, this one is full. That's so disgusting. You guys tell me. You heard what he said. He basically is like, well, yeah. Here's what's funny. Here is what's funny. Let's say Shiloh doesn't get drafted, but the team, whoever drafts Shedeur, whatever it may be, here's what I'm going to say, guys. Deion Sanders isn't going to be here next year for the Colorado Buffaloes. There's a really good chance he's gone. I'm just going to go ahead and say he's not. And that's really fucking disappointing. That was something that we've all been saying, especially this year when the Buffs were turning around. Is like, yeah, this is great. But what happens when Shador and Travis Hunter, let's be honest, Shiloh's not really part of that equation because he wasn't really making that team very good. But what happens when everybody leaves and it's just him there at CU? He's all by his lonesome, quote unquote. Well, guess what ends up happening? He's going to leave. So I'm sure you could probably go to Bet Online. I should send that over to Jimmy. Be like, what are you guys thinking about this? What are the odds that he leaves? Because I think Deion leaves. And it pisses me off. And it's going to make me lose a lot of respect for him if that is the case. I'm going to have a ton of respect for Deion Sanders if he stays at Colorado and lets his son or sons go explore the world on their own. I think it's better for them both, whether or not Shiloh gets into the NFL or not. I think it's better for them both to cut the cord with Deion. He can't be holding their hand through everything with life. He can't be doing that. It's not good for them. Let them be their own people. Then what? Let's say he goes and let's say Shador gets drafted by the Raiders. Let's just say that. Whether or not that's true, it doesn't matter right at this point. Let's say that. Then they hire Deion as the head coach. Deion pulls a fit. They bring in Shiloh. What happens when Shiloh sucks and gets cut, needs to be cut? What happens if Shador sucks and gets benched? What then? Come on, man. It seems like more of a headache. If he's pushing for that, if he's saying that publicly, what Deion just said right now publicly about the only way he would leave Colorado is if Shador and Shiloh get drafted, and then he would be willing to coach them in the NFL. If he's saying that publicly, you can speculate. Speculating can get you in trouble. I get it. Assuming makes an ass out of you and me, right? But let's be honest, we're all doing it. If he's that way publicly, what's he like behind the scenes? He's probably being a lot more vocal about it, making a lot more of a push. Just saying, if I wasn't a cheap bastard, I'd be going to Bet Online right now at betonline.ag and looking for those bets. Will Deion Sanders leave Colorado? I'm saying yes. This offseason. And how fucked up is that if you're somebody coming in to Colorado to play and then he fucking leaves? That's jacked up. You just transferred from one school to another. But it sounds like Deion doesn't. Oh, man. He is going to burn a major bridge. And all you people out there that have been saying, watch out for Deion, Deion's trash, blah, 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 blah. All of you guys are going to be right. And people like me that have been sitting here defending Deion and saying, listen, he seems like a good guy. He stands by his word. He's trying to build great human beings as well as great football players. I'm going to be wrong. I'm going to be standing here with egg on my face. That's going to piss me off, Deion, if you fucking leave. Because you can't trust anything that comes out of your mouth from that point forward. Because everybody else that was saying that you're full of shit, they're right. And then everybody that was defending you, we're all wrong. We're all wrong. So Deion, stay at CU, okay? Your kids deserve you to separate. It's better for them if you walk away from them and you stay at CU. Let them be their own people. Fuck. That bugs me. Bugs me, Deion. Bugs me. Bo Nix was named AFC Offensive Player of the Week for his play against the backup in Kansas City. The Kansas City Chiefs second stringers got blasted by the Broncos at Mile High. That's exciting. Good for Bo Nix. He deserves it. He tore it up. He tore it up. Now the Broncos are looking ahead towards the Buffalo Bills in the wild card game this weekend. Oh my God, I'm so freaking excited.
Wild card, bitches! Yeah!
You can't play that soundbite enough. It's so freaking good. The Broncos obviously taking on Josh Allen, but a storyline that, almost got swept under the rug because, you don't hear that much about him, at least out here anymore, but Von Miller. Von Miller's playing solid. He's not his old self, but he's solid, okay? And Von Miller was in the press conference yesterday talking about his former team, the Broncos. And, I was a little bit surprised how much he was gushing over the Denver Broncos.
Plus, I pay attention to the defense. Jonathan Cooper to Nick Benito and Zach Allen. Like, those guys are rushing up. I think they just broke the Broncos most sacks in the season by the Denver. I'm telling you, like, I pay close attention to the Denver Broncos. I love the Denver Broncos. It's just those small 3 to 4 second bursts. When I'm in the game, I have a job to do and I want to win. I love those guys. I love everything about the Denver Broncos. I pay close attention to the Denver Broncos. I haven't even talked to Bo Nix or follow him on Instagram or nothing like that. And I feel like I know Bo Nix just by staying in touch with Broncos country and staying in touch with the Broncos. They know they're building a new facility. They got new jerseys. All the new players from Mims and all the guys. Never met these guys, but I feel like I've met them because I pay so close attention to the Denver Broncos. Still close with Patrick Surtain, Cortland Sutton, Garrett Bowles. We probably talk once or twice every single month. That's 60 minutes when I'm out there. I want to win. I want to win the game. I want to beat the Denver Broncos. It's all love at the end of the day, but those small 3 to 4 second bursts, I gotta go through these guys to get where I want to go, and it's kind of weird, but that's just how crazy the NFL is and the universe is. So instead of trying to fight it, I just embrace it. It's a cool event. To be able to play against this new and improved, Denver Broncos. The last time that they made the playoffs was, last time we won a Super Bowl. So it's a full circle moment, and it's nothing but love and respect for the Denver Broncos and Broncos country for sure.
That's really neat to hear Vaughn talk that way. You obviously, when you hear him speak, he says that he's doing a job at the Bills, right? That he's just punching the clock. His heart is in Denver. His heart is so much in Denver. I posted that video on YouTube, and there's a bunch of people talking about that, saying essentially the same thing. If the Broncos could bring him back for one season, imagine him getting a sack at Mile High. People would freak. People love Von Miller. And Von Miller loves Broncos country. It's really neat to hear that. He is not scared to say that he's on another team. He was on the Rams before the Bills. Before that, he was a Denver Bronco, but he will forever be a Denver Bronco. Yes, he had some off-the-field issues. Yes, there was a time where it seemed like he was just not putting in much effort. But I feel like most of us can set that all aside and say that he's changed and he seems like he's a better dude. And listen, if he decides to retire, I expect that next day that he will be on a plane to Denver and there will be a press conference and he will retire as a Denver Bronco signing a one-day contract, something like that, right? That makes sense to me. It's cool to hear Von Miller talk that way about the Denver Broncos, even though he's on another team. You don't really hear that. You really don't. It's usually, well, they're my former team. Well, I'm here now. That's all that matters. No, fuck, man. Von's like, I pay attention to him. I'm a fan of them. I like their this, I like that, blah, 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 blah. He knows all the guys. If all of a sudden the Denver Broncos said, hey, Vaughn, you want to come back next season? I'm guessing he would be there in a heartbeat. A blink of an eye, he'd be there. And I think Broncos country would embrace him. And who knows, he might have a explosive final season. It seems like it just orange and blue just course through his veins. It's really neat to hear that and see that from Von Miller. Dan Orlovsky. I always screw up his name. Orlovsky was on the Rich Eisen show talking about the Bills Broncos game.
I'm most interested in Buffalo Denver. I'll be clear. I think Buffalo wins the game.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to pick a game that I could see the upset happening, it's that one.
Okay.
And that's the one that gives me the most fear if I was a Buffalo fan, because one, Patrick Surtain changes everything that Buffalo wants to do and has had success doing this season. Denver treats Surtain like the Jets and Rex Ryan used to treat Darrelle Revis. We're going to put you on one side of the field, and you put an X on that side of the field. And so I'll go super deep with the X's and O's here, Rich. So
Sure.
One of the things that Buffalo's done great this year, and everybody in the playoffs does it, I think Buffalo does it as well as anybody, if not the best, is they get into these 4-by-1 formations. They put 4 guys to one side of the field. They put 1 guy to the back side of the field. And that 1 guy it's simple for the quarterback. They put him on an easy route, a slant or a stop or a go. And they say, hey, if you like the matchup or if it's free access, Josh, throw it there. And if not, well, we have 4 guys to the other side of the field. So, we're just going to throw an easy RPO, like a flat route, or we'll throw a bubble screen, or we'll throw a little in and out route. It's easy operation, or we'll run the ball, And so as an offense, we gain advantages and stuff like that. I have 3 plays at once. If I don't like my one-on-one because the corner is really good or they play with the safety over the top, well, great. Well, if you play with the safety over the top, it's math. You have 1 less person over to my 4-man side. And if you're going to play with try to have a high safety over there, well, then I'm running the football. And so, Buffalo's been great at that this year. Denver can just take Surtain to the 1-person side and say, you cut it off. You play by yourself, and it's favorable for Denver in that situation. 2 things that does is it allows them to have a body near the run and allows them to have an extra body near the 4-man side. So now the advantage that Buffalo has had is taken away. So that gives me concern. I think the second thing is their defensive line is big, fast, and athletic. Jonathan Cooper is fantastic. Zach Allen is tremendous. Nick Bonito is the key for me. Bonito's a defensive player of the year candidate. And if you watch him play against Patrick, he's the spy guy. And Josh loves to run versus man coverage, which is what Denver does. And he's big and he's physical and fast. He can match up against Josh. And so that just gives me a little bit of hesitation. I think this defense is a really good unit, and Buffalo's going to have to play very well to have some success.
No kidding.
I like hearing that. A lot of people aren't saying that. There's a lot of nonsense from non-football experts. It's usually like Chiefs fans or a lot. In all honesty, it's mostly the bent Bengals fans. Broncos shouldn't be in there. We should be in there. They beat, the second string Chiefs. Here's the thing. It's not based off, they won 1 game. Oh, that's the only reason. There's a lot leading up to that. The Broncos beat the right people at the right times, and that's all that fucking matters. And how many times has that happened to Broncos? Certain things need to go certain ways for you to get in the playoffs. It either works in your favor or it doesn't. Get off your little pity party and move on. Enjoy the playoffs because the Broncos are going to be there and it's going to be a lot of fun. The Broncos, in my opinion, it was nice to hear Dan talk that way because a lot of the national experts, former players, are saying the same thing. They think the Bills are going to ultimately win, but there's also that glimmer of, shoot, I don't know what team's going to show up for the Denver Broncos because they're kind of hot. They can get red freaking hot at times. And there's that hesitation with this game. There's a really good chance the Broncos embrace the underdog role, go out there, play Bronco football, play the best defense you have. I believe the Bills are the least sacked team in the league, and obviously the Denver Broncos have the most sacks in the league. It's going to be very interesting. If the Broncos can get to Josh Allen and fuck up his rhythm, knock him around, make him make some mistakes, it's pretty freaking cliche, but that is going to be how they win. And then all the Broncos offense has to do is do what you can do. That sounds so dumb. Do what you can do, man. Don't overthink it. Don't force the football. But you got to take some risks, throw downfield like you've been the past few games. One thing that I wish the Broncos would stop, I know it worked against the second string Chiefs, but these little screen passes, they kind of bug me. But get the run game humming. Make the defense be on their toes. They don't know if it's a run or a pass. And as simple as that is going to be the difference maker. Hold on to the fucking ball. Do your thing. And again, have that underdog role, because ultimately everybody's picking the Bills to win. Ultimately, people don't think the Denver Broncos are good enough to go in there and beat the Bills. It's going to be a tough environment. Bills Mafia brings it every freaking game. There's no reason why the Denver Broncos can't go in there and punch them right in the nuts and walk away victors and move on to the next round. If they move on to the next round, I believe the Broncos will take on the Kansas City Chiefs. And that, my friends, will be epic. Will be epic. We'll see. We'll see. Let me know your predictions. You can comment below if you're watching on the video version, or you can hit me up at DeHuff Podcast on social. It's gonna be a fun game. I can't wait. I don't really care about any of the other games right now. I just want to see this game, Broncos and Bills. If I am going to put a number on it, I got the Broncos 24-17 over the Bills. I said it. I said that's what just popped in my head. There we go. Okay. It feels right. It feels right. Close, but not close enough for you Bills, and the Broncos will walk away victors. There we go. Underdogs, baby. Underdogs. There we go. There we go. This is fun. This is fun. Just don't go over there and get kicked in the teeth and get blown out. I think ultimately that's what Broncos country is hoping doesn't happen. Yes, they want to win, but shit, if the Broncos lose, just don't make it bad, please, because the Bills have that capability. That's the thing. If the Broncos defense has a shit game, there's no shot. This is a complete game. And what's fantastic is when you think about it, the Broncos have an elite defense. They have a fantastic offense as long as the run game is flowing a little bit. Okay? Special teams with Mims. Mims is badass. That's really the ingredient that needs to be used a lot is Mims. Mims is the secret ingredient for the Broncos to win. Because he is something special. Something special. We'll see. We'll see. Can't wait. 24-17 Broncos over the Bills. That's what I got in the wild card. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. Really appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and like this episode as well. Deion, talking to you. Don't you dare leave Colorado. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. I don't care. Leave your kids alone. Let their wings fly, and you stay and just watch from afar. It's the best thing for them. Big thanks to Bet Online as well. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day. Let's continue to move forward. I'll talk to you next time.